Hello everyone, this is going to be a very raw conversational type video. Me and Muffiy just had a great conversation last night and we decided why not we make it into a video so that you guys can take value from it, you guys can learn from it. So I hope that you enjoy it, I hope that you just take something valuable from it that you can go and implement, or just even an interesting insight. So feel free to tell us what you think in the comments.
Yeah, cool. What do you want to get started with?
Yeah, man, I think let's just continue. Like, we started talking about this morning how I've just been personally really reaching out to my inner child and channeling my inner child more. Even when I was like in the shower this morning, like I remember when I was younger, I used to like make jokes. I used to make myself laugh, bro. I used to just be in the shower and just start dancing and just start like singing and rapping and freestyling and all. And nowadays I don't do that. But after our conversation yesterday, we spoke about being like children, being innocent, being just freedom, not being locked by certain rules and these invisible cages. Yeah, even this morning I just started freestyling, bro. I just started talking to Jesus, bro. I swear down. Yeah, man. What do you think?
Like, bro, I think exactly what we were speaking about is about allowing yourself to have that space. I think we get so caught up into our routines, into these stagnant ways of living. We don't have that space for creativity. And as you know, what we were talking about with the Richard Dawkins chart of maps of consciousness, I say to myself, how many times am I operating from the worst mindset?
Exactly.
It's like, if you view work as work, no one wants to do work. That's why you're going to procrastinate. That's why you're going to delay what you're doing. But if you see it as it's just an opportunity for me to have fun, it's an opportunity for me to show my insights, everything becomes playful again. Everything becomes easy.
That's real. That's so real.
Yeah,
even what we're doing right now, like a lot of people see it as work, and I'll be real. Even like I want to avoid getting into the mindset that this is work.
Yeah.
This is not work, bro. We're sitting in some hotel. Like, for other people, bro, they're miserable. They're sitting in an office, working. Oh, I hate my life. Oh, I can't wait to get home. I can't wait for Friday. Bro, this is a Monday morning, bro. Deep it, bro.
That is shit.
Broski, I remember I used to be in school, and I was like, bro, when's this gonna finish? When's this gonna end? Going from lesson to lesson, listening to some teacher who doesn't even want to be there. You can just tell by her energy, like, bro, like, she doesn't want to be here. She's miserable. She wants to be on a beach somewhere, chilling with her children, whereas she's in this miserable classroom. And now it's a Monday morning, 9, 10 a.m. We're sitting there in front of a camera, just saying what we want to say, bro.
Like, do you know, on what you said, it sparked into my head this idea of, in the Bible, we're told about having death to self, right? Is that you have to die to your flesh every day.
Yeah.
But people die to their spirit every single day.
Wow.
And that's when they're going to work, and it's like, you speak to people, it's like, I hate my life.
Yeah.
Like that, do you know how insane that is to say?
It's crazy.
I hate my job, but that's where you're spending majority of your time.
Real.
And I think as you said, rather than viewing stuff as work, we're told that, the actual meaning of Yahweh is that God is. And just being. Like, I'm not doing stuff, I'm being.
Yeah.
I'm not working, I'm just being me. And if that means that it includes a labor that multiplies and helps me get through the day, then that's what it is. But the moment you start to have these siloed things, then everything becomes these, like, it's got to be a lifestyle.
Yeah.
That's what I like to think of it as. We're not working, this is my life. I do stuff like this. I have conversations with people.
Real.
I help people solve problems. The moment your mind can be set on that, then it's so much easier to flow.
It's amazing. So true. And when you even say it like it's a lifestyle, something that me and a close friend of mine say is that Jesus lived a lifestyle of evangelism. It wasn't a once a month event type of thing that we do like as church people in churchianity. It was like Jesus was walking to the marketplace. Jesus would go here, Jesus would go there. Soul would get saved, dead person raised. This, bro, why can't we live like that as well? We can.
Yeah. Do you know, it's all about like being a vessel, right? Not getting caught up into, for example, was Jesus necessarily ready for somebody to come to him and be like, I'm so sick, I need to get healed? And think about that. Are you ready to just be whatever the moment requires of you? But then if you're in these constant mind frames, like for example, a doctor's always ready to help a patient because he is a doctor. He doesn't turn up to work and is just a doctor. No,
Bro.
I am a doctor in every
Exactly.
scenario. So what are you in every scenario?
Exactly.
And if you can frame things rather as you said, these, oh, I've got this long task of things to do, just like enjoy it. Why can't you just see yourself? I'm having a conversation. For a
Exactly.
living, I get to talk to people.
Yeah.
That's how I like to see it. Like, you know, when you, obviously now when I'm doing appointment setting and I'm trying to like message as many people as possible, I was like, why can't I just see it as, I'm gonna just meet strangers, figure out what they do, and they get to figure out what I do. And
Yeah.
just make friends along the way.
Yeah. Exactly that. And I love a phrase you used. You said, I get to. I get to. So many people, I have to. Even me, there's times where I lay out all my tasks for the day and it's like a 10-hour work day with like 50 minutes of pause, of just sitting. And thinking, yo, I have so many things to do. I have to do this. My mum will tell me, oh, Patrick, come, let's go out. Or my brother will tell me, oh, Patrick, can you play with me? Or can you say something to me? Or can we talk? I want to show you something. Let me show you geometry dash. Yeah. And then I'm just like, no, I have to do this. I have to do work. And I catch myself like, yo, the whole reason I got into this was so that I could have freedom. Like I'm looking up to people like Myron Golden. This guy, he goes on a flight back to Florida where he lives, and he books a private jet. He doesn't like flying economy. So he now makes an offer around him going to, he's flying private. He says to people, okay, cool, I'm going to Florida. If you want to learn from me, you can join me on this trip to Florida. Just pay me $250,000. You come on my private jet. You can spend a day with me at my masterclass, and I'll give you a one-to-one to help you in your business. And if you want to upsell, then I'll give you something on top of it, and that upsell is $1 million. That's how he lives his life. He lives his life just creating offers, speaking to people, and if he doesn't want to do something, he won't do it. He's not forced to. He lives his life from a place of creativity. And I believe that's what God called us to do, bro. That's what God told Adam to do. There was the animals. God said, name these animals. Adam was just going, dog, cat, fish, elephant. Yeah, bro.
But it all comes to how do you feel before you do something? And I think the most dangerous place you can be is that you feel like you're being smart. Because as Paul tells us, he says, if you're even marked as wise in the eyes of the world, make yourself a fool. And I say that to say, this is dumb, but in a good sense.
Yeah.
Like, oh, let's just record a video, why not? Calm, let's do it. What time are you free? Okay, calm, say nothing. But it feels, somebody could look at this and be like, this is so stupid. But you're actually being the wisest you've ever been. And it's, especially what you're talking about with Myron Golden, there's probably so many people that try to explain to him like, yeah, but why are you going on a jet and then you're going to do a mental, because he's just being dumb, he's being in the moment, he's letting go of this overthinking to almost be so tactical. And I think sometimes it's understanding we're not here to be these weird strategists. Who was even like that in the Bible? Like, if you generally look at the story of David, I find it hilarious. You mean to tell me that he's just there, guys are like, yo, there's this hench guy that's coming he's mashing up everybody. It's like, well, I got this, man. This is light work. You don't even know I've been fighting bears. I've been fighting lions. They're like, oh, what? Yeah, cool. Okay, you want to go fight the guy? Take this equipment. He's like, I can't lie, but I don't even use this. Man just uses the sling thing. That's just me. And then he goes there and defeats him. But it's like, you can take that to everything else in life. Is, do you approach the situation like, this is light work? This is just me. I'm gonna do it. But so many times we get like, why do we try and strategize overly to what has already been done for us? I think we were speaking about indoctrination, right? People underestimate the power of your intuition. Your intuition considers your personality. It considers all of your past experiences. It considers all of the things you watch. It considers the images that you have, the goals that you have. Your intuition is almost like the perfect coach that knows everything about you. So when it's telling you to do something, it's not telling you from a place of self-sabotage. The self-sabotage comes from when you doubt your intuition, not when you got the intuition. So it's having that trust that if I have an idea, if it's coming from a genuine state of mind, it's already considered everything that needs to be considered. Now I take action and I figure out why I even had that idea in the first place.
Exactly.
But the moment you get a thought and it's like, let me think about it. nah, this isn't a good idea. I've never approached a girl like that. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro.
No, real.
And
That's real.
I was on the train and I was writing a short little story called Liberation. And what I was noticing is that we almost replay what Jesus done when we help other people, which is people are stuck in this world of thinking they have these sins, which is just being stuck. You're chained to, you can't get past this obstacle. And it's actually somebody that's in the kingdom of heaven in mind state that now comes down to earth and then saves you from them, saves you from all your sins. So I really just think the main thing I'm learning and what we are speaking about is just allowing yourself to trust in yourself again and not being so stuck in, but is this the right thing to do? Start questioning yourself. You don't know how to take the next action. Like, all the clarity that you need will just come from taking the action. Action will birth everything else.
Exactly. No, it's so true. This, what you just said, just reminds me of, you know, when you're in a video game and you can only see to a certain level forward. Like maybe you're in a dark place, you're in a forest, you have a flashlight. You can only see like what's coming up. You can only see the next corner, the next tree, if you move forward. Whereas people will get the idea, people will have the destination in mind. Like God will show you a picture of something just absolutely crazy, like something that's unimaginable for you to attain. And instead of you taking the first step towards that to be like, okay, what's the corner I need to turn? What decision do I need to make? You're trying to figure out that step in your mind, except instead of doing it practically. I can't see around the corner unless I actually go there. You know, in certain old games, or even like mobile games that aren't really that developed. The only certain buildings will only load in once you get to a certain distance of them.
Yes.
It's the exact same thing, bro. People just need to take action.
It's like when Peter was walking in water, right? Jesus like, come out to me. Peter, he's looking at Jesus. When his eyes are set on Jesus, he's walking on water, he's doing the impossible. The moment he starts getting giddy and he's like, oh, so mum's on walk, what happens? He falls down. I think that's everything. Like, you stay focused on that image, stay focused on what you saw the first time. And what I think happens to a lot of people is they see it, they get that first, oh my days, I can actually change my life, oh my days, I can actually take these steps forward. Then they doubt. Then they start to think that, nah, that wasn't really real. And if that happens to your business, what you don't realize is that actually is happening to your faith. We go to church, we are convicted on Sunday. Our pastor, they speak life into us. The verses, they speak life into us. But then now when you're confronted with them battles, when you're confronted with them demons that the Bible tells you to be strong when you face, now what starts to happen? Yeah, but Jesus doesn't know what it's like to have a girl message me at 11 o'clock. Oh, they don't understand what it's like to have a dream and everyone doubts you. But the Bible, every story has already been written. Everyone has already faced what you faced. Or you believe in the words that you're reading. So I do think it's a holistic thing, your belief. I do think the moment you have that self-doubt in one area, it's like a cancer. It's going to spread to every single part of your life.
No, that's real. That's so real. And I want to touch on what you said, like, nothing under the sun is new. We can see that in Ecclesiastes. Solomon was the wisest man. He studied everything and he said, is there anything of which we can say this is new? It has never been before. No. All things under the sun have been, and they will always be for generations. It's like what Myron Golden is doing now, Solomon was doing. What we're doing now, someone else was doing. Solomon wrote 3,000 proverbs that helped people. What we're saying right now are proverbs upon proverbs that are going to help people, that are going to give them direction. So when you're doubting something that God has shown you, bruv, someone's already done that. Someone's already done it. What did they do to get to their destination? How can you learn from someone? How can you leverage someone else's trial and error to help you get to your destination quicker? I spent months and months and months evangelizing at school, and very few people got saved. I knew I was planting seeds, but I was very disappointed because there weren't people giving their life to Jesus. There wasn't miracles being done. There wasn't crazy things happening. But now that those months of trial and error of me trying to evangelize and doing these things at school, I'm now training evangelists who are young, year 10, year 11, year 12, and I'm saving them that time. I'm leveraging the time that I basically lost and giving them an opportunity to excel forward. So yeah, with anything I would say that God shows us, there's always someone who's done it, especially in scripture.
Even as you said that, it made me have this thought that having faith isn't just for yourself, it's for others.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it goes in two departments. And let's say with work first, one thing that I've always known when it came to, let's say, having a job is I do think you're just living off the faith another person had with a smaller image. Now it allows you to live through that. But then the greatest amongst us are the people that need the least evidence to do something, but they still took action to make it happen.
Yeah.
So your faith in the sense that, okay, I can go to school and I can evangelize people and I can tell people into Christ. Not only have you multiplied for yourself, you've now done it for others. Because now other people can use your faith as an example to have faith for themselves. So when you're doubting, it's not just an act where you're self-sabotaging yourself, you're self-sabotaging the world. Because they needed you to have faith in that. That if I didn't have faith in my podcast, how many other Christians wouldn't have faith that they could do something similar?
Real.
So you need to not only do it for yourself, you need to do it for others.
That's so true. That is so true. And you can now see Satan's agenda with doubt. Satan's like, sometimes we think like, oh, why does Satan care so much about me, bro? Why does he care so much about me having like financial success or me like reaching influence? Or it almost feels like it's made up. But then when you realize, okay, hold on, if this thing actually goes well, how many people will be impacted? If this evangelism thing ends up working and one soul gets saved, one testimony happens, how many other people will be strengthened to do the same thing that I did? Then how many souls will get saved? Then how much resources can we add to the kingdom? And it's like, yo, now I see why I say it. Like, it's not about me. It's not about me or you. It's about Christ. It's about the body of Christ. It's about Jesus. It's about his purpose. It's really just light versus darkness. There's no in between. It's so powerful.
It's like the Tower of Babel. People forget the story where God himself said, if these people work in unison, nothing can stop them. So he had to destroy them. But what you can take from that is, how powerful is it for everyone to be in unison of thought? And if you can have that unison in faith, what is stopping you? It's like what I was saying to you yesterday. A friend of mine proposed this as an idea that Jesus didn't actually save anyone, it's their faith that did. And I was like, yo, that's so real. Because he tells us that if you have the faith, even the size of a mustard seed, you'll be able to move mountains. But what are those mountains in your life? That mountain in your life could be your battle with lust. That mountain in your life could be the insecurities that you've carried. And another thing to say on that, I find it so funny that everyone's platform was actually once a ceiling on who they thought they could be.
I agree.
Now, the only reason somebody's going to become a world-renowned speech specialist is because they struggled with speaking. But once they solved the problem for themselves, they became a solution for others. And not to get a bit too in the cave here, but one thing that has always stung out to me is an atheist person looks for solutions in the world. Like, their eyes are fixated on what's the solution. Alcohol, it's a solution. Going to the club, it's a solution. But as a Christian, I feel like our lens has to be problems. Problems are blessings. Like, when you hear somebody that, oh, I have a problem, you're like, yes, fantastic. Because now I can make a small kingdom of heaven that now allows people to transcend the problems that they're facing. And I think people say, when is Christ going to come back? Which of course he is. But Christ comes back every single time you save someone from a situation that they think they can't get out of. And that's truly being a vessel. I love the concept of using myself to help liberate other people. You see it all of the time. And that, it'll always go back to faith. So do you have faith in the things that you've seen? Do you have faith in overcoming what's ever been set in front of you? Because that's the only way you're going to become great and then lay a path for others. It's like what they say, the person that plants a seed for a tree doesn't just serve himself, he serves the person that gets to sit in the shade of that tree. But that's not just with trees, it's with our life. It's with
Yeah.
all the decisions that we get to make.
Yeah, that's so real. That is so real. We're really just here to serve people, to solve their problems. You can look at every person. Like for example, David. Like when he was writing Psalms, he wrote, I think, was it 150 Psalms? How many people have those Psalms helped? And my man thought he was just writing like some emotional stuff, like, yo, these men are against me, they're trying to kill me, oh God, save me type of thing. And now we're here, we're going through so many various types of situations, and we're strengthened by those words. We're strengthened by his what? By his fear, his willingness to be weak. And share that is what strengthens us now. And it goes back to what you were saying about everyone who's amazing at something comes from a place of inadequacy in that specific area. Because it says in 1 Corinthians 3, Paul speaks about the wisdom of the wise has been made foolish. That God he's thwarted the wise in this world. That those who are wise in this world are fools to God, but the wisdom of God is foolishness to men. So it's really like everything we do needs to be inverted as Christians. Our whole life needs to just be flipped around. This is the thing that Muffiy said to me on a call recently, that our lives are upside down as Christians. They're just inverted, they're just backwards. Because we've been indoctrinated our whole lives to think a certain way, to act a certain way, to make decisions in a certain way. I think you even said like when you're in an exam and you're not sure what to do, the teacher will tell you think.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10 you still get the question wrong. You think, yeah, you sat there, you're thinking, let me think. Still get the question wrong, bro. So why not take a different approach? Everything we do, we're taught, okay, think first, plan first, do X, Y, Z. Bro, when Moses split open the sea, was he sitting there trying to calculate how to split the sea open, bro? Was he doing maths equations? No, bro. He did it in faith. He saw the image, put the rod down, and it opened. So, yeah.
Yeah, like what you said about Moses is perfect. It's like just allowing yourself to come to the problem, and I will be whatever I need to be in this moment. I was it's Psalms 25. The Lord is my light and salvation, whom shall I fear? The Lord is a stronghold of my life, of whom shall I be afraid? Even though enemies surround me, I'll still rise up, something like that. Even though an army besieges me, I'll remain confident. And I'm like, David was spitting so many bars.
Yeah.
Because, yes, why will I not remain confident in the face of adversity? Why will I not remain strong in the face of what looks like it could overcome me? The scripture tells us, let the weak say I'm strong. And I think that's not only for our battles in terms of the things that can hold us back. I just think it's approaching anything. Why can I not just have the faith that it'll work out? Sometimes what I like to say is, you're not approaching a girl to get her number. You're approaching a girl to find out what she was really gonna say. That she already said yes or no. You're just going almost in a playful, childish way to find out, okay, cool, where am I? Like, okay, cool, so you said no, okay, cool. Right now, I'm not there. And I think if you could have that mentality with anything you do, that it's already been done. When you say amen, the etymology of that is so it be. So it's done. That scripture tells us that the Father already knows what we need before we even pray. It talks about if somebody needs bread, why would somebody give them like rocks or something like that? And all it is I'm finding out. That's all I'm doing. Is I'm like a kid, I'm in a store that's already been designed for me. I'm just going to find out. I have this business idea. It's not like, oh my gosh, is it gonna work? It's already not worked, though. It's already has worked.
Exactly.
I'm just taking the actions to uncover the story.
That's
I like to use the analogy of, imagine if you're going to a cinema. I haven't seen the movie, but you're sat with the director and he's next to you. The director's gonna be chilling watching the movie. You're gonna be screaming like, yo, how's that character gonna, what's gonna happen to that guy, what's gonna happen? Well, the director's chilled, and I think that's how God is. Like, God's already seen it, like it's already happening. I think rather than life being this test, why can't it just be you get to watch the movie with your dad, who's our father. Kanye talks about this concept that if you're always trying to say the right thing, life becomes a test. How many times do we do that?
That's real.
And I've learned to allow myself to say, whatever I brought to the moment was what was needed. I can learn from what I could do better, but I'm not going to judge myself too harshly. I was meant to be the inadequate or adequate at that time.
So would you say there's like no such thing as inadequate?
Yes, but in the sense that you were always, for example, right, where you're at now, you could look back and be like, I should have never said that to that girl. Or I should have never done this in this scenario. Or I should have never took on this client. I should have never paid for this mentorship, whatever it could be. But you're meant to be exactly where you are right now. There's a guy called Duncan Trussell. He's not He's not a Christian, but I very much do love his conceptualization of how to think of where you're at. And he says you're exactly where you need to be. Imagine the peace that gives you, that thought, that like flow of like love and joy. Of course, it's not hard to hear when you're maybe in a bad position, but when you're outside of that position and it's like everything that happened, I was meant to, when I messed up, I was meant to mess up. When I succeeded, I was meant to succeed. But it's not to judge yourself too harshly and allow yourself to have that freedom of, everyone's biggest fear is rejection. But imagine if you were never being rejected, you are only being given the armor to go and take on the final beast you're gonna face.
Yeah.
That the scars that are on your body are just the proof that you are who you say you are.
That's real.
That maybe the only reason people listen to you is because you lost in certain seasons. And that no one wants to hear from a person that went to a private school, their dad was a millionaire, and they just have money. No one cares to listen to that person. That person guaranteed will have no influence. Why? Because people want to see themselves in your journey. And you know what I find so funny? When we're losing, we don't realize one day when you win, you're gonna spend all of your time convincing people you're once a loser.
That's true.
You're gonna have to spend all of your time convincing people I was once broke. When you're a millionaire, guaranteed that's your biggest struggle to get new people is gonna be that, yeah, I was once broke, because people won't believe you. So imagine now you almost running away from what is one day gonna be part of your VSL.
Yeah.
Like imagine that.
No, that's real. That's real. And it goes back to scripture. Like again, it's about, Paul was praying that God would take a thorn up from his flesh. And Paul said, God, if it is in your will, take this away from me. I think he pleaded like 3 times or for 3 days. And God said, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Like God will put us through seasons of weakness, through seasons of struggle, through lack, through pain, through breakups, through heartache, through all of these things. Why? Because he can display his power through that, through your transformation. To this day, the content that has done the best for me is transformation. Me saying what's happened, what God has done. Me saying how I went from atheist to Muslim to Christian. Me saying, oh, this is who I used to be, this is who I am now. And it's through being willing to be weak and knowing that it's through that God's power is shown. Yeah, that's what's gotten me the furthest, and I think that's what most people should aim to do, not run away from weakness, use it. Yeah, man.
Like our struggles are beautiful. You know, there's something that someone said, which is, I can't remember how you worded it word for word, but he said something along the lines of, almost struggles or curses of God aren't still the most beautiful blessings. And I'm like, that's so true. Where, honestly, like, being real, the only thing you have is your lack. That's the only vantage point that you get to operate from. That's your edge.
Yeah.
You know, everyone looks for a competitive advantage. What can I have that's above another person? But it's actually in your discrepancies is where you're going to get the biggest gains. Like sometimes maybe the fact that you don't speak properly, maybe the fact that you aren't as cleanly put together as other people is exactly why you're going to be the person that gets to have the souls of all of the people that recognize that can relate to that.
Yeah.
People's biggest problem isn't actually winning, it's being separate enough to be recognized in their winning. Like, how many people are these online money guys that are now in bar? Like, for them, what the biggest struggle is that I sound like everyone else. My story's the same as everyone. How can I position myself in a different way? Like, imagine the beauty of your biggest problem is that, too many people relate to me. Do you know, like, imagine that's changing the lens rather than it's like a thing of, this is such a frustration. What if it's just a blessing? What if that's actually an advantage?
Yeah.
That I'm so finished when it comes to lust. I'm so good at telling people stories about it. Probably make you a mad relatable person.
Exactly. Like, why do people run away from that though? Why do people run away from their relatability, their showing their weakness that everyone else has that they can use to now inspire people? Like, everyone has insecurities. I have insecurities. That's me being real. That's me being honest. I can tell you about, like, okay, let's both have a go, yeah? I'll say like an embarrassing experience, like something that I was like, yo, why did I do that, bro?
Yeah, no, that's calm.
And then let's both go for it, yeah?
That's cool, I got you.
All right, let me think. I think, okay, I don't know why I feel led to say this, but I'll just be open and vulnerable, innit? I used to be someone that was very after, like, female attention, like many guys, innit? And I just started speaking to a specific girl and was like getting into a relationship with her and whatnot. And I lied to her. She asked me like, okay, like, what's your body count? And I told her my body count is 2. And the maddest thing is that my body count was 1. So why did I tell her it was 2, bro?
I threw me off because I thought you were going to say like I had. That's hilarious though.
And I regretted it, bro, because she found out, like, I got myself in trouble because she's like, well, she's now like, oh, so you've been with X many people, like, who's the second person? And I couldn't tell her who the second person was. So it's either I make someone up or I just tell her like, yo, I can't lie, I lied still. I had to just be like, I lied. So now, it just got me into a bad situation. I'm just like, why did I do that? Like, what actually led me to lie about that and say it was 2 when it was just 1? Like, it started making me question myself on a different level. But yeah, what do you think it was for you?
I'm trying to think of an embarrassing story. Yeah, so an embarrassing story for me is, as a kid, I used to have eczema. It was like a really bad like skin condition that would like show. So dry skin, a lot of unfortunate jokes on the end of that. And like, I used to just be like quite small and like have a high pitched voice. But my reaction to having that was one of, I just became like this mad attack dog in terms of, let me just say the maddest jokes about other people. And like, I was really I was actually a waste man. I'm not gonna cap. Like, if you met me before, I was the type of guy that would be like, yo Patrick, yo, what are you saying, bro? Then after I'm like, Patrick's a waste man. Like, I was one of them people, and it's like, what I realized is that it was just from a place of fear. Like, I was really just scared and didn't want someone to, let me say the joke about him before you can say the joke about me, type thing. So just a lot of immaturity from that place.
I hear you. Yeah, like, I think it's really inverted. Like, if you were to do the opposite, if you were literally just to be vulnerable and open about how you actually felt about certain insecurities, maybe in a primary school sense, like, people wouldn't have been as forgiving or as empathetic towards you. But now, if you look at it, the most popular content creators are the ones that are authentically themselves. You know that guy called Leo Skepi?
Who's that?
He's like a bold gay guy. He's white, big, tall, American, I think.
No, I
He's
haven't
in
seen
America.
That, so.
What he does, bro, is just sets down the camera, and he's a big, like, if you saw him, you never heard him speak. He's a big, masculine, strong guy. You think, yeah, this guy's a macho type of don. He speaks like any other girl, bro.
Right.
I swear down, he speaks like any other girl, and he gets so much engagement. He gets so much engagement. He has such a high following. He's even recently started reading the Bible. Why? Because he's just himself. Can you imagine how many people made fun of him, bro?
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
because he's just authentically himself, he's vulnerable, he shares his weaknesses, the things he doesn't like, people are just attracted to him. Like, he's reading the Bible now, and he's just honestly saying what he thinks. He's honestly sharing his opinion. Like, the Bible speaks about forgiveness, and he did a Bible study on it on his TikTok, and he's just like, yeah, I'm someone who's vengeful. Like, vengeance gets me. I'll be real, like, I can't forgive. And people are celebrating it, like, they're sharing it. And these people would never have picked up a Bible in their lives. It's because he's open. So I think when we're more open to being vulnerable, even in my story, if I just told the truth, bro, I would have avoided so much nonsense, bro.
Yeah.
And that's in so many different areas. If you just tell the truth, if you're just yourself, bro, there's so much advantage to it. It's not just you avoid trouble, but you get further. You see progress. Yeah, man. What do you think?
Do you know, is on what you said, yeah, about that guy being used by God to read the Bible. When I had my experience with God, so the way it happened was, very quick story on it. I was in a coffee shop and I must have started writing down my most fundamental beliefs. So I had a note section and I started writing, God is love, God is everything, God is life, God is actually, sorry. And I started bursting into tears and I felt overwhelmed by God's presence. And funnily enough I was playing a song by Clear Soul, one of my favorite artists. You should check her out. I can't remember exactly which one. I want to say Things Will Get Better. And then she has a line where, and I was listening to this as it happened. And I was in a coffee shop in a Starbucks. It was mad early when I done this as well, like 6 a.m. It's very similar to a day like this. And I'm like crying tears and I'm overwhelmed by his presence. And she says, if God called you at 5 a.m., would you get up and leave? Would you answer his call? Something like that. And I was staying with a couple of my friends that were actually in an apartment that were 10 minutes away. And as soon as I heard that, I started running, I started sprinting, and I was just telling them yo, God is real, da da da. And I even mentioned that to say God will use the most foolish things, but the real thing is, do you pick up his call? If God called you, would you pick up? Would you get up and leave, as the lyrics said? One of my favorite songs till this day. And even me hearing you mention that guy, God's a funny guy, you know. People think he's not a funny guy, he's a funny guy. He will use what's needed to be used. If it's okay, cool, this gay guy, even though he may be the worst sinner of all of us, he's willing to have the message and spread it. I'm gonna use him, I'm gonna bless him, I'm gonna put him in stages where other people would never think he deserves to be. Why? Because you're a person who's useful. And asking yourself, am I useful to God? What am I gonna do? Am I the type of person that God gives me a beautiful thought? Am I selfish? I just write in my notes section and I never share it?
Yeah.
Sometimes I think with my content that I'm waffling. I'll be honest. I'm why am I? But I understand that these revelations aren't for myself. And the reason I say that, why? Bible's a beautiful book. Imagine if, rather than seeing the Bible as a linear story, you see it as a circle. What would be the next book after Revelations? It would be Genesis, right?
Yeah.
But the Genesis happens when you give the revelation to someone, and then the Genesis and the world begins in their next mind.
Wow.
Do you understand what I mean?
That is sick.
So it's
wow.
Do you take your revelations and do you give them out? Do you allow people to have their Genesis, to separate the light from the darkness? Do you know, honestly, I don't know how much time we have, but I'm in flow state right now. The reason I say that is because if you take your revelations to other people, the first thing that happens is that you're tapping into their spirit. So now the spirit of God is within them. You've tapped into, you've given them inspiration, you've breathed life into them. And now when they're in a place of darkness, you can separate and then actually give them light. Light to who they're meant to be, light to what they're meant to go and achieve. So the main thing is, are you useful to God? Are you a servant in the truest of sense?
That's so real. That is amazing. I really like the circle analogy.
I got that on the spot still.
Nah, that's hard. That's hard. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't want to extend the video too long. But yeah, what's one practical thing that people can take from this?
Yeah, so one practical thing is whatever's been put into your mind, whatever you think is a good idea, whatever you think is something that just, it eats away at you, go and create that. Stop doubting yourself, stop questioning it. Use your resources. Like, you have people, have money, you have friends, you have ways to do it. I don't care if it doesn't look the way you want it to be. Same way when we were talking and we wanted to do this video, it's like, oh, should we book a studio? Should we? Let's just get it done.
Facts.
Like, we had the idea, it's perfect, let's go, like, let's make it happen.
Facts.
Take that and do it, and that's when God will work in your life. Like, he'll work in your life in ways that you could never expect.
Exactly. Exactly. And even just to be a bit more vulnerable, since that's what we've been talking about the whole time. Like, we're in the Premier Inn right now. We're not in some fancy place. Like, it might look nice. Like, thank God it looks good, but we're in a Premier Inn. Like, we went to a better place before. What was it, like a, what?
Just some fancy
some fancy hotel. We went to the top, that it's only guests allowed. So certain people, like, when they encounter a challenge, once they're actually now executing on that vision, they encounter one challenge, one wall, one obstacle, they're like, oh no, this isn't from God. Like, if it was from God, bro, it would have happened immediately. It would have worked out perfectly, because stop being entitled. Just because your God's the creator of the universe, that doesn't mean he will just put everything on a plate for you. Like, he'll teach you how to be someone who seeks out the results, someone who's determined. He doesn't really care about you having. He knows humans care about having things. He cares about you becoming. That's why in Genesis, I don't even want to go too far. In Genesis 1:28, he says to Adam, be fruitful, do multiply, do replenish, do fill the earth, do subdue it, and have dominion. So he put having last and becoming first. So if you want to have, you need to become. How do you become? By doing the things, by overcoming, by subduing, by multiplying what's on the inside of you and putting it out there. But you're just putting more obstacles between you and putting it out there. You're putting more obstacles between you and multiplying. So even like us, instead of booking a studio and just making it extra, bro, we just came, sat down, couch, camera, and yeah, we're doing it. So
yeah, man,
I would just double down on that, man. Like, start being practical about the things God has shown you. Be intentional, and you'll see the result from it. That's it. Anything else?
Nothing to add to that.
Cool, amazing, cool, man. Appreciate you guys watching.